In Paul's letter to the church in Ephesus, in chapter 6, verse 4, he writes, "Fathers, do not exasperate your children. Instead, bring them up in the training and instruction of the Lord." Now, I am certainly not an expert on parenting, but I can share wisdom from the Bible and wisdom from others. So here are some thoughts from Pastor David Jeremiah, as well as God's Word. David Jeremiah writes, "Planting a seed is only the first of a season's worth of steps. There is watering, fertilizing, weeding, and protecting the struggling plant from pests, diseases, storms, and adverse weather. Many flowers and vegetables require stakes, cages, and other supports to help them stand tall and to bear fruit. The gardener who does nothing but sow a seed shouldn't be surprised if his or her plants never reach maturity. Almost all living things in God's creation reproduce by sowing a seed. Human beings, plants, birds, fish, and animals. When a seed is buried out of sight in the ground, there is little we can do to impact its growth. But when a new plant, and especially a new baby, enters the world, that's where the results of real husbandry, which is the care, cultivation, and breeding of crops and animals, and parenting, can be seen. Passive parenting is letting a child grow up in his or her own way. But biblical parenting is a different matter altogether. Like the plants that we mentioned earlier, some parents might tell you that kids require stakes, and that would be STEAKS. Cages, actually I'm only half kidding there, and other supports too. Children need instruction and direction in order to grow as they were designed. Now if you are a parent, read these scriptures. Humility is the fear of the Lord. Its wages are riches and honor and life. In the paths of the wicked are snares and pitfalls, but those who would preserve their life stay far from them. Start children off on the way they should go, and even when they are old, they will not turn from it. And then Psalm 92, verses 12 through 15. The righteous will flourish like a palm tree. They will grow like a cedar of Lebanon. Planted in the house of the Lord, they will flourish in the courts of our God. They will still bear fruit in old age. They will stay fresh and green, proclaiming, "The Lord is upright. He is my rock. There is no wickedness in him." That's called parenting the Bible way. And we're here to help you on that parenting journey. But we have to ask some questions. Number one, are you reading the monthly parent page that the church provides from our friends at the Center for Parent-Youth Understanding? There is so much information and practical help and wisdom from folks who have been, and some still are, on the front lines of parenting. It is available at the church in print form. It's on Main Street. And it's also in a mobile-friendly format, and you can get that by contacting me and asking to be put on the parent email list. Where are you on Sunday morning? In addition to worship, we have Bible studies for youth at both morning services, and we have children's Sunday school at the 9 o'clock service. I'm thankful that I had parents that made us go to church every Sunday. As I got older, I asked about going to a different church with my friends from school, because I was the only student at my home church from my school. My parents had no problem with that, saying, "We don't care where you are going to church, as long as you are going to church." Now, where are your youth on Sunday night? We have youth group Sundays from 5 to 6:30, where we are pouring into students. If your student isn't there, where are they? Are they attending youth group at another time or place? That works. Again, when I was in high school, I stopped going to my church youth group on Sundays. But I was at a student Bible study group every Monday night with students from my high school. And if I had a Monday night school event, then I went back to my own youth group on Sundays. I'm so grateful for that and for the foundation that laid in my life. Now, high schoolers in St. Johns County don't start school until 9:20. So on Monday mornings, we offer breakfast Bible study and prayer for our high school students. On Wednesdays, we offer Wild Wednesday for middle school students after school, where we are wading through all of the wisdom that's in the book of Proverbs. And for those who don't have the opportunity for youth group on Sunday, we are pleased to have great relationships with Good News Church and Reverb Church, who both have exceptional midweek gatherings. And there are so many other churches in our areas that also have great youth programs. Get those students plugged in somewhere to build that foundation in their lives. What about camp? According to the American Camp Association, the cost of sending a child to a sleepaway camp has tripled to about $450 a day. And most week-long camps in the state of Florida charge between $1,000 and $2,000. We partner every summer with Real Life Camp. It's a great camp with phenomenal speakers, great activities, and a top-notch worship band. And for our camp that includes bus transportation to and from, it's only $475 for the week. And scholarship help is available for those that need it. Camp made a huge impact on my life, and it still is speaking into the lives of students today. Every summer, thousands of students give their lives to Christ as they're immersed in a situation where they're surrounded by the gospel and by people who love them and love pouring Jesus into them. So it's important that we get our kids to camp. Just 2 weeks ago, I asked students how they changed over the past year. And one of my middle school boys said, "Do you remember when the speaker at camp last summer told us to put our phones under our bed before we go to sleep, so that the first thing we do in the morning is get down on our knees in order to get it? I start every morning on my knees praying." Chalk one up for summer camp. And what about mission trips? We spend a lot of money on vacations, but do we ever take trips that leave a lasting impact on others? We have 3 great opportunities this year: Guatemala, Pittsburgh, and Operation Christmas Child, that students and families can be a part of and make a difference. Like camp, mission trips lead to a deeper and stronger relationship with Christ as our faith blossoms when we put it into action and see God at work in us and through us. Let's make sure that our children, young and old, are growing up in an environment that is drawing them closer to Christ, and then watch what God does in their lives. I want to invite you to join us for worship this Sunday at the Village Church. Our services are at 9 and 11 a.m. And if you can't get there in person, be sure to join us for worship anytime on our Facebook page or our YouTube channel at the Village Church at World Golf Village. Our Primetimers group of senior adults kicks off the new year with a trip to the Fountain of Youth next Friday, January the 24th. The group will meet at the Fountain of Youth at 11:30 a.m. and then proceed to lunch after their tour. If you're interested in joining them, you can sign up at the church on Sunday or call the church office at 904-940-6768. And if you're a member or a friend of the Village Church and you would like to have your name and photo included in the church's 2025 directory, you have 1 week left to get your photo and information to Deb in the church office. You can drop off information in the office, or you can email it to deb@wgv.church. Have a great weekend, and I'll see you again on Monday with more thoughts from the Word for You today.